Greetings, traveler. Your journey has led you to the capital city of the Orcs, and the Horde as a whole, Orgrimmar. You must have traveled far to get here. Why don't I show you around a bit? Let's start off with a little history lesson. During the Third War, Thrall led his orcs to Kalimdor and found refuge in the land of Durotar, named after his father, Durotan. With the help of the native Tauren, the orcs built the city at the base of the mountain range that separated Durotar from Ajara. Initially, Orgrimmar consisted of little more than a handful of tents, makeshift wooden palisades, and resembled more of a temporary camp. Gradually, however, it became the central hub of the Horde. Directly behind the mighty city gates lies the Valley of Strength. This is where the headquarters of Orgrimmar's city guard is located, led by Overlord Natoy. Natoy played a key role in the siege of Orgrimmar. After Garrosh was defeated, he took command of the city's guard. To your right, you'll see the tavern, the Broken Tusk. If you're looking for a good place to drown your worries with a shot of boar schnapps, you've come to the right spot. We are now at the entrance of Gromash Hold, the political center of Orgrimmar and the former seat of the war chief. It was named after the great hero Gromash Hellscream, who lost his life in battle against the mighty demon Manaroth, but also managed to kill him. Before we enter the stronghold, a quick note. Please remain calm and respectful inside. Otherwise, I can't guarantee your safety. After the Fourth War, the Horde is trying to regroup and is faced with the question of choosing a new war chief. The leaders of the Horde's races concluded that in times of peace, there should no longer be a place for a war chief, and they agreed on a council-based government instead. Each member of the council represents one of the races or tribes that belong to the Horde. Standing before you is Rokan, a member of the council who represents the Darkspear tribe. Furthermore, the council includes Thrall for the Orcs, Bane Bloodhoof for the Tauren, Lillian Voss for the Forsaken, Lorthamar Theron for the Blood Elves, and everyone's favorite Gazlo for the Goblins. Gromash Hold itself is kept very simple. Grand statues and other pomp commonly found in Alliance cities are nowhere to be seen here. Above the throne of the former war chief, you can see the skull of the demon Manaroth. This artifact holds special significance for the orcs, as Manaroth once ruled over them during his lifetime and kept them enslaved. Next, we will take a closer look at the Valley of Spirits. Directly upon entering the Valley of Spirits, you'll come across the Orgrimmar Embassy. After Azeroth was repeatedly ravaged by disasters and devastations, many refugees sought protection with the Horde, making the establishment of an embassy necessary. As you look around, you can see the temporary shelters where the newcomers are accommodated. Over here, you can see the Goblin slums. After the island of Kazan was attacked and destroyed by Deathwing, the few surviving goblins fled to Kalimdor. There, these unfortunate souls found refuge and eventually joined the Horde. The Valley of Spirits is predominantly inhabited by the Darkspear trolls. The Darkspears originally hail from the Stranglethorn Vale and were once part of the shattered Gurubashi Empire. Once, the mighty Gurubashi Empire ruled over the southern jungles of ancient Kalimdor. Keep a close eye on your valuables. We're about to enter the Cleft of Shadow. In the underbelly of Orgrimmar, shady characters such as rogues, thieves, murderers, and warlocks typically gather. Down here, the trade of illegal goods thrives. Poisons, contraband weapons, and stolen loot can be easily obtained. Another reason to avoid the underbelly of Orgrimmar is the Ragefire Chasm. The Ragefire Chasm is a vast cave system beneath Orgrimmar, where the Cult of the Burning Blade operates. The Cult of the Burning Blade is a sect of the Shadow Council, led by Jurgosh the Invoker. Through their dark practices, the cultists pose an immediate threat to the inhabitants of Orgrimmar and Durotar. Unfortunate souls who wander down here alone often find themselves stripped of all their gold, or sometimes even their lives. We are now in the Valley of Wisdom. Take a moment to listen to the peaceful sound of the waterfall and the chirping of the birds. This is the only place in Orgrimmar that still reflects the Horde's roots in its connection to nature and shamanism. Unfortunately, the Horde has long since strayed from this path and has focused its attention on war and conquest. After the old Gromash Hold was almost completely destroyed during the Cataclysm and rebuilt in the Valley of Strength, the Taurens settled in the Valley of Wisdom. They are the ones who most closely reflect the old values of the Horde. As you look around here, you can see behind the Tauren tents the ruins and remnants of the old Gromash Hold, from which the first war chief, Thrall, led the Horde. Now we're heading to the upper levels of Orgrimmar, which connect the city to vast parts of Kalimdor via zeppelins and wind riders. If you're afraid of heights, it's best not to look down now. Before you is the impressive lower jaw of the fearsome Earth Warder Neltharion, better known today as Deathwing the Destroyer, who caused the Great World Quake and the resulting cataclysm. This is displayed here in memoriam of the many innocents who were burned alive by Neltharion and to remember the dreadful events of the cataclysm and its ongoing repercussions. The other part of the lower jaw is hung in Stormwind, as Deathwing could only be defeated through the combined efforts of Alliance and Horde. It's hard to imagine how incredibly vast this beast must have been. Just think of the courage it must have required from the brave heroes who faced such a terror and brought the monster down. We're now heading to the final section of the tour. Follow me. From up here, there is a wonderful view of the Valley of Honor. Down there, you can see the Great Basin, where the orcs collect spring water to supply Orgrimmar with drinking water. The constant flow of water in the shade of the rock outcrops cool the air and provide a welcome relief from the heat of the Durotar Desert. Directly ahead, you can see the Orgrimmar Arena, where brave gladiators risk their lives on a daily basis in the fight for glory and honor. The bloody games attract spectators from all across Azeroth. Let's take a short break and listen to Kiro's skillful flute playing. Kiro is the leader of the Volpera caravan, which joined the Horde after the events on Zondalar. The Volpera are a race of fox-like creatures that live in the vast deserts of Vol'dun on Zondalar. They survive by scavenging, as they can't afford to waste resources in the desert. Over time, these resourceful fox-like creatures have learned to take everything that might even remotely be useful to them. All right, to wrap things up, please mount up on your flying mounts and follow me. We're heading to the Orgrimmar Harbor, which is located just outside the city. The Orgrimmar Harbor is relatively small compared to the harbor in Stormwind, as the orcs have never been particularly known for their seafaring skills. Nevertheless, ships set sail from here to the farthest corners of Azeroth. This is the place where the goblins ultimately arrived after their home island was destroyed by Deathwing. And with that, we've reached the end of our little tour. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. Feel free to leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.